Hey guys, LootWizard here with another video on Gems of War. This one is going to be a short video on one team that works for 10 different delves, and it works good enough to get you all the way up to the 2,000 points that you can max out with a non-faction team. So the faction renown here that you see on the screen is the 2,000 points. And the team is this. You probably already have seen this team a lot in PvP, so a lot of you guys probably already know that you can use this team for these delves and all that, but we're going to just go over it anyway, because there may be some people that don't realize how good this team is for these 10 different delves. And the team that I'm recommending here is Titan class. You can use a different class if you want, but I've found that Titan works good. But I recommend using a class that has that rock solid talent, because that's where a lot of your protection is going to come from by matching brown gems. And since the King Gobtruffles create brown gems, you're going to get that barrier a lot. Plus, the Essence of Evil will be able to shut down the enemy. If you have a troublesome enemy, then you can shut it down and entangle it and all that kind of stuff with Essence of Evil. Now, if you have Essence of Evil and you haven't upgraded it yet, I do not recommend upgrading it to 10 like I have, because the final 10th upgrade gives you Hexed, which will give you a 10% chance every time you cast it to transform the first enemy into a giant toad, which is really bad. You don't want that with this weapon, because that will take all the negative status effects off that you put on that enemy. So don't upgrade it to 10, just upgrade it to 9. You can get the Essence of Evil weapon from the Plague Lord class and the Darkstone Kingdom. You just go over there, if you have that kingdom unlocked, get that class, start using it, win 250 battles with it, and you will get this weapon. It's a fantastic weapon. And the Forest Troll here is in my second spot, and I know a lot of people put the Forest Troll in the first spot because in its talents it does entangle the enemy when it does skull damage. But the thing that I found here with this is that Forest Troll here works good in the first spot for PvP, but in delves, once you get higher, there are times where a certain enemy troop in those delves is immune to a tangle, and it won't work, and you'll lose your Forest Troll, and you really need that to continue looping all of your green mana. So what I've found is putting a class here at the top with the rock solid talent, and then the Essence of Evil is a much safer option. Then the Forest Troll obviously is going to start with half mana if you do have all of the traits unlocked on your Titan class. That's why I like Titan better than, let's say, the Plague Lord class here. But although that still will work, it'll just take a little bit longer for your Forest Troll to get up. And for banner, I'm using double green because that's the main color we're using here. Brown is important for Forest Troll because we're going to want to get that up. And there's no negative to blue, so if we take brown or blue, it's going to fill up the Forest Troll. And then the Forest Troll is going to double the amount of green gems on the board, and that will cycle right into the King and Gobtruffles here, and they'll just continue to get extra turns. And once you get high up into a delve, like let's say level 350 to close to that 500 level, each battle will take a few minutes because you're going to be just doing all those extra turns and maybe only doing 25 to 30 damage to all of the enemies each cast of the Gobtruffles, but it will work. And it's kind of just a patience battle, a couple of minutes, and you can finish them off. And for badges and medals, I recommend all life, because once you start looping the Gobtruffles and all those extra turns, you don't really need any protection as far as cleansing. But if you want to feel safer, you could put a few medals of Orpheus in there. As for medals of Anu, starting with 20% mana, the only thing in my team here that would benefit from that would be the King Gobtruffles, which we don't really need, because once you have Forest Troll up, it'll just fill those guys up really fast. So that's that. Moving on here to the list of the 10 different delves. This is the list. There currently is 19 delves in the underworld, and they're going to keep adding more. So there'll probably be other delves that this team will work for. But there's a criteria here in the colors that the banner of that kingdom uses. So I'm going to name off all the delves here. Starting here, we got Fang Moor. It'll work for that. Sunken Fleet, All-Seeing Eye, Dark Pits, Frostfire Keep, the Deep Hive, Amani Thrax, which is where the Goblin King Gobtruffle comes from. City of Thieves, Sea of Sorrow, and Mirrored Halls. All of these delves, this one team will work for all of them. And there's restrictions based on colors, but the main thing that we're looking for is if any of these factions have a 1+ to blue or 2+ to blue, as long as it has a blue in it, we can use the Forest Troll and the 2 King Gobtruffles, because all of those troops use blue. And for weapon color, that's not restricted, so that doesn't really matter. Now, as you can see here, there's a 1 to blue on Fang Moor, there's 2 to blue on Sunken Fleet, 1 blue for All-Seeing Eye, then there's a negative blue on Dark Pits. But here's the thing, as long as we have green and brown, we can use the Forest Troll because that uses brown, and the King Gobtruffles use green and blue color. So as long as one of those colors is shown here, we can use it. So Dark Pits, we can use it even though there's a negative to blue. Frostfire Keep, we have 2 blues, so we can use the team there. And the same reasoning goes down here. As long as you have a brown and a green combination, or you have at least 1 blue, you can use this team. So all of these 10 delve teams you can use, or all these delve factions, you can use this one team for all of them, and you can use it and get all of them to that 2,000 points level. And just to show you here real quick, the where you get the King Gobtruffle is here in this underworld delve. You got to go here to the Amani Thrax faction here, and you need to go to the portals, and you need to open these portals with your shards. And you can see the card right here for King Gobtruffle is in there. It's a legendary troop. It shows mythic on my screen because that's how many I've ascended it that high. But it's just a legendary rarity. And you should get it. I mean, there's some luck here, obviously, in this game. It's a lot of luck based whenever you're opening keys or chests or any of that stuff. And some of us have good luck, some of us have bad luck. So you're going to have to rely on some of that, but if you just keep opening these, eventually you will get the King Gobtruffle, and you're going to need 2 of them for my team to work, so that might take you a little bit of time. And just to go over really quickly what this troop is doing, it's doing damage to all enemies. It creates a mix of 16 green and brown gems boosted by poisoned and diseased enemies. It will gain an extra turn as long as there is no freeze effect on it. Now, you can use it really well even without it being fully traded, but I will say it does work better if it is fully traded. So if you can, try to fully trade this troop as quickly as possible, because the final trait here, it will disease a random enemy when matching 4 or more gems, and that is going to be happening a lot because we're going to be looping this troop along with the Forest Troll is going to be creating lots of mana, so we're definitely going to be getting more than 4 gems matched, and that will disease a lot of the enemy. And once you have 4 of those enemies diseased, you're going to have this here. It's a boost 1-to-1 ratio, so it will create an extra 4 gems on the board when you have all the enemies diseased. So that will generate, and it is surprising, those few extra gems will give you the quite a few more extra 4 or 5 matches and keep that loop going. So that's something to consider. So there you have it, guys. That's all the video. It's just pretty short this time, but I just wanted to show you this team, even though a lot of you probably already are using it and know about it because it's a very common team setup in PvP already. But I just wanted to show that you can use that team to get your 2,000 points with those 10 factions. So there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like on this video. And, feel free to comment below if you think that some other team works better in these factions than this one. I want to know about it. So, please share. So I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.